Good morning, Bucknutters. It is Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. I am Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and change. Ohio is still blanketed in snow. Duane, have you wielded a shovel in the last 48 hours?
There's no choice. My dogs love it. I hate it. People just go ahead and get it done.
We are digging out ourselves. Lots to go over today. Ryan Day is on the road, actually here in the Gem City today. He will go see Miamisburg tight end prospect class of 2023, Jackson McGowan. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. There's been some staff upheaval going on. We want to get Duane's insight on that. But Duane's specialty, the offensive line, got some huge news. And I put that in italics, underline it, bold it. Dawand Jones broke some news of his own. I thought that was pretty clever how he put breaking news on his Twitter. He will be returning to Ohio State. That means the offensive line next year looks like right now, Paris Johnson Jr. at left tackle, Matt Jones at left guard, Luke Whippler center, possibly Donovan Jackson at right guard, right tackle, Dawand Jones. Please put in context for us, Duane, what do you think about Jones returning, both for him and the team? There was some talk of him leaving for the NFL. Most educated pundits felt he should return, and he has. Give us some perspective.
It's a win-win. He needed another year. He would have gone probably no later than the fourth, probably more into the third round. Maybe could have gone higher, but, I mean, he's just a massive kid that really can move. And, those wide bodies, you want these kids that it takes a while to get around, and he's long. He's got a lot going for him as you look at weight, you think guard, but he moves so well. But he needed another year. He could push into the first round with this next year. And look at how many he's played a lot of football, Dan. And let's not jump to the conclusion. Yeah, Paris Johnson is the more natural left tackle, but Dawand Jones has played a lot of left tackle. They may decide to kick Johnson out to right tackle at least for a year and put Dawand Jones at left tackle. That could very easily happen. The rest of your lineup, I absolutely agree with, and it should be the better offensive line, one of the better offensive lines we've had. You're talking about a lot of experience at this point with that unit. When you think about that, will be 3 years for Matt Jones and Dawand Jones, 4 years. These guys we're getting some veterans going here. Veteran matters on the offensive line more than it matters anywhere, and experience just matters, period. You got to be happy about it. Who's going to be which tackle is really the only thing left to decide, and don't be surprised if it's Jones at left tackle, just to take advantage of the experience he has there.
Upside would be the key word with Jones. If he's dedicated to his body and his fitness over the next 12 months, I do agree he could push himself into the first round. Secondly, I do think they'll have Paris Johnson at left tackle. It's just a more natural fit. Luke Whippler at center, I'm excited about, just because asking a guy to start at center as a freshman, given the responsibility of the position, is a lot, especially when he's snapping to another guy who had never started. So the idea of Luke Whippler and C.J. Stroud coming back, both experienced, and another year in the weight room is fantastic. You're going to have guards at guard, Duane, Matt Jones and Donovan Jackson. Are you okay with that?
Oh, yeah. They're great-looking football players. When you go back looking at Matt Jones was ranked as a defensive tackle, and he was outstanding. The guy could move. And the only reason Donovan Jackson is a guard is because he's not the long kind of guy you want at tackle. He moves like a tackle. There's no question about it. If they kicked him out there, that's fine with me. He's going to be able to hold his own because he can move. And he is pretty long. He's not – usually when you're looking at long, you're also looking at tall, and he's not. But he is long enough. He could be one of those DeBrickshaw Fergusons who's not who's only 6'3", but he's so long, his reach is that of a guy that's 6'5" or 6'6", which is where you're looking at with tackles, with height usually. So this guy, he belongs. I'm absolutely confident that he's going to get the job done. We got mobile guys in there, and we're the experience factor. Matthew Jones has been playing football for us for a while.
At the end of this past season, the running game was just not where it needed to be. In my opinion, the offense is completely dependent on getting that back to an elite level. Do you think this group can do that?
Oh, absolutely, I do. Bringing a guy in here that's going to teach them, okay, you're firing off the ball. Who's ever in front of you, I want to see a big hole in his chest. That's what I want to see happen. We just look, you can go back. It's hard to watch the Michigan game, but you can go back and look at that game and see that, they just got in our faces. And, there's that old saying, we've all said it, Dan. Many of us have experienced it. It doesn't matter the size of the dog in the fight. It matters the fight in the dog. And they just came to fight and we didn't. That's simple. And bringing that attitude in, I think is going to be crucial. There's talent. These are big, mobile, athletic guys. That's not the problem. It's not a lack of talent. These guys got to come out with a different attitude. And I have not looked at our new offensive line coach yet. I want to do my own research. But that's the thing he's got to instill in these guys. It's highly important to get that attitude right.
That new offensive line coach is Justin Fry from UCLA, part of a massive coaching overhaul. As disappointing as the loss to Michigan was, I do think it was the catalyst for real change. Any change Ryan Day makes that's questioned, he can just say we lost to Michigan. So you're looking at Al Washington out, Kerry Combs out, Greg Stadrawa out, Jim Knowles in, will coach the linebackers and be the defensive coordinator. Kerry Combs actually hired at UC yesterday. Perry Eliano comes from UC, will coach safeties. Tim Walton comes from the Jags, will be the secondary coach and handle the corners. And like we said, Justin Fry will handle the offensive line. Of all those hires, which one sticks out to you the most?
I got to go with Knowles. I've looked at his I watched several full games of his defense, every play, defensive play. And you got to love it. He's all over the place. You don't know, these quarterbacks are going to line up and look across the line of scrimmage, and they're not going to know whether to line their ass or scratch their watch. He's got people all over the place coming from all different directions. It is so hard to block a defense the way he plays it. People are coming from every direction. In the two full games, I watched Baylor, and I believe it was Oklahoma I watched. He only rushed 3 men one time. In 2 full games, he only sent 3 men one time. And you just don't know who's coming. I love the way he attacks. It's every play they're going to attack. You are not going to run the football. He's not going to let you run the football. And that is key. He's making every offense one-dimensional. And how many great quarterbacks are out there that can take advantage of that? I love the hire. I just love the overhaul. Ryan Day did not mess around. This wasn't good enough. I got to fix it. I'm not going to sit around and invite my friends in to help coach my football team. I'm going to bring some guys in that know what the hell they're doing. Washington, I don't know what happened with that hire. It just didn't work out. You look at the defense, you call them fits where, the linebackers are filling and they just weren't. They were making bad decisions. They were not getting off blocks. The linebackers just weren't well coached. So that's another one that I'm happy that Knowles is coming in and he's going to take over the problem children, the unit that just has not been performing for years and put his own personal touch on it.
Al Washington landed at Notre Dame, but he'll coach the defensive line, so read into that what you want. Very impressive overhaul. It does seem like Ryan Day now has the staff that he wants, so it's all on Day. I'm very comfortable with that. We're going to take a quick break, come back and talk recruiting. All right, we are back. The Buckeye staff is out on the road. If you read Bill Kurlick's story this morning, you know that Ryan Day is in the Gem City today. He'll check out Miamisburg, Jackson McGowan, class of 2023 tight end. You've also got Christian Harris on that squad. I'm not sure how much of a priority he is. McGowan, I saw play this year because my son's basketball team scrimmaged them recently. He is a big, square, tough kid. He played wide receiver for Miamisburg this year. I think they see him developing into a tight end prospect. He did throw down a hammer dunk, and he has tremendous hands. Even Mark Porter and I were discussing this. He made a highlight film this whole season of one-handed catches. So he's more of your receiver type who could add some weight, and we will keep an eye out on what goes down at Miamisburg today. However, Duane, crystal balls are rolling towards Ohio State, and the name is familiar. Dublin Kaufman defensive lineman Will Smith Jr. earned his offer from Ohio State. Crystal ball started running. I think it's fair to assume that barring a major change, will end up as a Buckeye. Your thoughts on the prospect?
Tremendous talent. The thing that you look at and you say he's not ideal size. Well, you know what? Let's go back over recent years. We've had a really high success rate with some undersized guys on the defensive line. Guys that, you're like, well, is he going to be able to hold up against the run? Well, yeah, the one that stands out is Landers. Landers was a guy that was late in the process. It was a who, and he gave us some good football. Look at how much good football we got out of Ty Hamilton. He was a guy, one of those 6'3", 245, 250-pound guys. And he's playing real good football for us. And Caden Curry may end up being the best of the bunch. Where he's going to play, I don't know. I still think he could take advantage of his quickness and athleticism inside. We'll see. But Smith is a serious talent. He may still be more of an end, though. I think he may project more as an end. But there's no doubt about it. Just looking at him as a football player, the kid can ball. He got game.
Yeah, and let's be fair. The comparison Mark Porter used in his commitment evaluation was Michael Bennett, kind of your tweener type. Bennett actually found his home long-term inside. We will see what happens with Will Smith. Certainly expect him to become a Buckeye at some point. We appreciate Duane stopping by. Have a good one, Bucknutters.